Peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. Shout out I Am Goddess for this picture right here. She said she was scrying with smoke. And she said, Riz, you got to take a look at this. I see a face in it. And definitely a face. Horn, ears off to the side. Here's the eyes. You see the outline of the cheekbone and face, the mouth, the nose, and it has his mouth open with his tongue sticking out. Almost like the Duke Blue Devil character. I'll hold that in tight. Pull down some light. Look at the eyes. Look at the giant antenna or horn that's sticking out of his head. And you can clearly see his ear right here is pointed. And that's the outline of his face, folks. That's one with some highlight on it. Look at that. Bring the light up some more. Still see those eyes. Yeah, but I posted some stuff earlier with Roger from Mud Fossil University. And I want to show y'all some things. Okay? Okay, now, this is Stone Mountain, folks. It's in Georgia. It's a famous Klan, KKK monument or site where the Klan went one day and, you know, it's like a meeting place for them. It's like a national monument. And it's been like brought to my attention where I saw a group of black militants or militia. They marched to Stone Mountain because the Klan threatened that if they saw them there, they would shoot them and it would be like a race war or whatever. And I kept seeing this in the YouTube, and I'm constantly seeing Stone Mountain, Stone Mountain, Stone Mountain. So then I Googled aerial pictures of Stone Mountain. And folks, it's really conducive to what Roger from Mud Fossil University says. From my study, from my observation, we're living on the backs of dead giants, animals, and people. I know that sounds crazy, but the research has been done, and you see these to the regular person. Oh, this is just a mountain, but every mountain is a dead animal or human or humanoid like entity or being that once lived on the earth, and they become mud fossils when the place was flooded. And look, you see it's water all around this area. This is a giant mud fossil of a sea creature. Just take a look at that, folks. Look at the tail that's on the back. And it's fossilized into stone. Look at the side flipper or fin. You still can see the fish-like structure of it. To see that this was once an organic living creature. You see that? That would be the head of it. This would be the body. This is the side flipper or fin. And this is the fan-like tail that's in the back. Look at that, folks. That's biology. And you got to understand something. This goes with all religious texts, books, whatever you want to say. To have a garden, you have to have decomposing material. So that's why I always say we live on the backs of dead giants. You can't have a garden without compost. Decomposing material. Understand that. Next picture. This is a side shot of it. You can see it's a giant creature. You see his arms and on the bottom. It had a flipper on the other side. You see the fan-like tail. I mean, I was trying to recognize this thing as a turtle, but I don't know turtles that have a fan-like tail in the back. So maybe this is from an ancient time. It's a dinosaur, for lack of a better word, or a creature from olden time that's been fossilized in a stone, and they call it Stone Mountain in Georgia. Here's the face of it. You can see his tongue is hanging out, his mouth is open. Here's his head, his nostrils. All mountain ranges are dead, decomposed, fossilized creatures, giants. I mean, I'll take you in so you can see where the eye of the creature once was. Giant sea creature or some type of beast. Definitely died in the flood. And like I said, Stone Mountain just kept being thrown into my face. Every time I went on YouTube, I'm seeing Stone Mountain. Stone Mountain. Black militia marches on Stone Mountain. Clan this, clan that, Stone Mountain. Look at this giant fish, folks, or sea creature. This is the aerial view. For those that have eyes to see. You see the very sleek aerodynamic body. Look at the tail in the back. This almost looks like a giant flounder fish. Let's take a look at that. Zoom in on the tail. I mean, it looks like a fish tail. That's the backside of it, folks. Look at that, folks. That's a giant sea beast that was fossilized in the Great Flood. See the fan-like tail in the back? I even went and tried to do some research on giant sea creatures with fan-like tails, and I mean, I couldn't find anything, folks. So understand, this is from a time, I mean, way back. Come on, you can see it, folks. Look, arm on the side, front portion of the head, the body, rear legs, just petrified in stone. Died and then covered up by the mud. And then when the flood receded, here you have a mountain of a dead animal. Understand, Roger even goes into detail how sand is skinned. You know? Just think about it, folks. Your skin is silica based. You know, all the rubies and diamonds and gold come from dead giant beings. The copper, the iron. Where do you think all these minerals come from? They come from a dead body. The same way if you die and go into the ground, your minerals will go into this place. Look at that. You can clearly see that's a sea creature. And I put so many different videos up on my community posts about the firmament in the sky, about the firmament in the ocean. These scientists understand and know these things. I put a video on my community post where they show you the rocket hit the dome and you can see the ripple effect of it. It rippled like boom, it hit it, and then you can see water is behind it, folks. I'm here to tell you, the kingdom of heaven is above you. Whether you want to believe it or not, whether you understand if you want to believe in yourself and all that. But understand, it's the gods are above you. Heaven is above you, folks. And it's 1 trillion tons of water, and then it's the kingdom. Understand that. In between those 1 trillion tons of water, it's blue colored metal bridges, for lack of a better word, that go completely straight up, folks. Okay? Just to say you're on a blue bridge, an expansion bridge, where you have to pay a toll, and you see it's like an immense bridge, and most of the time like the Golden Gate Bridge, let's use that for an example. That's first you have the firmament, then you have the water, and in the water are those massive constructions that look like the Golden Gate Bridge going straight up into the deepest waters that's imaginable, deeper than the ocean here. That's why I say 1,000,000,000,000 tons of water. It's a blue construction that's connected from the firmament on the outside, going straight up into the kingdom of heaven. And then when you come up into an ocean of water onto the other side. That's why the rock group, the Doors, say we have to break on through to the other side, crack through the glass ceiling, the yellow submarine. The symbolism's all in your face, folks. I'm just a messenger. Not very humble, but I'm here trying to help. And you can see from the aerial view that this thing has fins like a fish, a tail like a fish. Here's the front of the body. This thing is massive, and it's called a mountain, but it's nothing but a dead fish from an old time. Look at that, folks. That's the tail of a sea creature that once lived, that's been petrified in the great flood in mud. And my memories are intact, folks. I never give you my theory. Never. Look at this. And I actually caught turtles recently. And I even tried to Google giant turtles, because this almost reminded me of a giant turtle also. But then I looked at the giant turtles that are in our dimension or our plane of existence right now, and they don't have this fan type flipper in the back. But maybe it's from some type of ancient sea turtle. Look at this thing. Stone Mountain in Georgia, folks. Look at that. This almost looks like a prehistoric turtle with a giant head and a fan type tail, and it has legs on either side. Now that's a sea turtle that we know. A shell, a head that protrudes through the shell. They have 4 legs, 2 in the front, 2 in the back, and they have a little tail. But this thing has a tail like a fan. Almost like a giant flounder, or a whale, or a dolphin. Look at that, folks. Look at, I mean, this is so amazing. You can literally see the scales and the fins, the tail. Unbelievable, folks. And there's way more stuff I see also here too. Like, I mean, if I pulled this out to you and showed you this, like, I mean, like, people would be like, well, wow, like, how does that go with this video? But I don't know. This is on the ground, and we know the ground is highly scratched on from the powers that be with their symbols and sigils. This looks like a giant ET-like being with horns going out the side of his head. Here's his eye, here's his neck, and here's his body. Can't make it up, folks. It's there. That's on the back of the giant fish. Entity from an aerial view. That's on the ground. That's on the mountain. You clearly can see that. This is just the craziest thing ever, folks. Seeing is believing, though. Yeah, Stone Mountain in Georgia is a giant fossilized fish creature, folks. Looks like a giant turtle. The most massive, and this thing is, when I did the research on it, is like either 800 or 950 feet long. I mean, wow, that's very telling right there. Giant fossilized dead sea creature, folks. More likely some type of unclassified turtle or fish creature. This is a really, really good shot of it because you can see almost like the head coming out of the shell. Where I showed earlier, the mouth open, the tongue sticking out, the eyeball. And understand, like if you were here, if you were on the ground, you wouldn't be able to be seen. That's how immense this monument or this so-called stone mountain is. And we wonder why these white supremacists go to these places, because secretly they know what they are. Now, Roger from Mud Fossil University put this picture out years ago, folks, and he shows how this giant dragon had its neck slashed, and it's in Morocco. Okay? And you see the giant fish creature right here. These creatures die and become part of the landmass. You can see the dragon's wings up here. You see its body, its head. It has a spike on its nose. I'll zoom in on the face right quick. This is on the ground, folks. A dead creature from biblical times where it said God slashed the dragon across the throat and killed it. And then a great flood came. You see the point on the nose? See the eye? And then I'll take you to the giant fish that's right below him that also died in the flood, that's fossilized in the ground. You see it? Some type of strange fish creature. You see his face, his mouth, his arms. It's become part of the landscape when it dies, especially when it's fossilized in mud from a flood. You see the wings? This thing fell on the ground. They say the Most High God took a giant sword, slashed it across the neck, and then this fish creature also died with it. And then the blood and the mud and everything just blends into the geology. This is one with some highlight on it, a little bit of contrast. Let's see if this one comes out good. You can see the dragon's face a little clearer. Giant fish creature at the bottom. See the green in the body? These giant dead creatures fall on the ground, and guess what? That's compost or decomposing material that fertilize the ground. That's why I always say we live on the backs of dead giants. People really think that's a joke. But you can't have a garden without compost. The most basic of botany or farming 101. They use cow poop and stuff like that. So understand that. They even use human fecal matter for potatoes now, which is, I think, very inhumane. But you see the other creature that's below them. These are dead creatures that once roamed the earth. That's why when me and Kala show you giants and things like that, people have a hard time understanding, but it comes from a lonely place of ignorance, and I understand it. But, you know, we're going to let the dead bury the dead, and we're going to raise who we could raise. Because I'm not here like everybody else. I don't have any love for this place. Not so ever. I watched today the chemtrail bot drones go out and artificially inseminate the sky to prepare for a rainstorm that's going to happen in my area tomorrow. They always set the stage the day before. That shows you live in an artificial environment. Okay? And I never sugarcoat this place. This place is hell. This is not Earth. Use your common sense and your logic. And you have to do away with cognitive dissonance. There are no real pictures of Earth. I'm going to keep saying it and drilling it until you get it. It's not Earth, people. This is the hell realm. There are no real pictures of Earth. Outer space doesn't exist. There are no planets. Okay? Everything is fixed onto the dome. The dome spins. You can Google the volt of the Earth, and it shows you in time lapse how the dome on top of this place rotates like a clock, folks. The ground is stationary. Wake up. Peace, love, and light. Yeah, and that's why I put a couple pictures and videos up from Roger from Mud Fossil University to give people a heads up. And so this stuff is not coming out of the blue. Because if you're not heavily studied in all areas, this stuff will be like science fiction to you. And these are the creatures that me and Kalaj show you all the time. They're interdimensional beings now that once live here but are in spirit. They're machine and organic. This is the bottom of their feet, folks. They have springs in their feet. Okay? Springs, folks. Transhumanism, way before you even heard of transhumanism. They had creatures that lived on Earth that had spring-loaded feet, machine parts. This is a regular human foot. Bones, fascia, heel, tendon. You understand? And this is what they were working with in the days of old. A spring-loaded foot, folks. That's the side portion of the foot. And Roger explained it. When this spring moved up, this spring came around. Like Transformers, except they had... Matter of fact, the best way to explain it is the Terminator. The Terminator. Flesh with machine under it, folks. Yeah. That's an extreme close-up of it. I'll pull down some of the light so you can see. He showed you how rocks have blood in them. DNA pouring all out of them. Giant heads that have been bashed in the back with blood marks. Come on, folks. Living on the back of dead giants. You can't have a garden without compost. Decomposing material. Wake up. You don't know where you are. The Naga heads were real serpent beings that lived here. What they call Earth, which is really hell. So why wouldn't a creature like this live here? This is a real fossilized head of a being that once lived in this existence. This is the leg and foot of the creatures that Roger calls the no-toes, because their toes were hidden under pads and they have spring-loaded feet. And I mean, yeah, because people will say, Riz, you see that face? Yes, that's clear to see. That's fossilized inside of the dead creature. Look at that, folks. That's machine. Look at that. That looks like it takes a giant Allen wrench. Giants, folks. Giant Terminator machines. Are you serious? Come on, man. A head that they found that had a red mark on it. Who's going to make a clay statue but then take a chunk out of the forehead where it looks like it's been hit in the head with a hatchet and then put red coloring on it? Come on. They even did the autopsy on these things. Once living. A fossil. Peace, love, and light. Peace, love, and light. I got to show y'all something real quick. Look at that, folks. This is how bold these ships are. That's in plain sight, folks. Now I'll take you to the one with the highlight on it. Look at the ship, folks. This is right above the city, right above the street. Look at the bump on the bottom of it. Look at the lights. I mean, it's becoming so crazy. Giant face in the sky, filmed by TC 802. I want to show you the Dragon Rider before this video cuts off. Oh, crazy UFO. I forget what subscriber sent me this, but look at this. There it is. You see it. You see the dimensions in it. Let Let me move fast. I don't want to get caught off on time. Massive ship filmed out of an airplane. Subscriber pick. The yellow circle is the entire craft. You see it? The light coming out of the bottom. And this queen's sister is looking right at it. You can see the lines and grooves and dimensions in it. This is when they talk about your guardian angels that's with you. Look at the chakra colors coming out the bottom. Unbelievable. Seeing is believing. A lot of demons in this world, folks. Whole lot of demons in this world. They don't want you to thrive. They don't want you to survive. This place is full of hate because it's supposed to be. It's demonic. Everything here points to hell. Show me a real picture of Earth if you can find it. Giant face of a female entity in the sky. Looking down on this hell in disgust. Giant cone head. Look at the lips. Unbelievable, folks. I have to show you this one here. This is who I call the dragon rider. I showed this before. This is a massive entity that's riding on the back of a giant sea beast. You see it? I put that video up earlier in a community post about the fish type entities that we see in the sky. Everything points to oceans and water. And you see the face of the giant guy. The giant looks like Galactus or Thanos. This picture came out very dark, so it might be kind of hard to translate, but I'm going to back it out a little bit. Maybe, let me see, pull down the light. Try to let it focus. But you see the giant body that looks like a shark. Dorsal fin. This is the entity that's riding on the back of it. Screenshot of the giant woman's head. Giant cone head. Eye, nose, lips. Iron Man suit. Saw this guy peeking out from behind a cloud, following me. I'll pull it out to show you the actual perspective that I was seeing. Here's the creature right here. I call the Iron Man because he has the suit on, the illuminated glowing eyes and all. See him right here? See his mask and his white eyes? Red color on the suit. Look at that. Right there, folks. Let's see what else we got here. These entities up near the sun. Again, looking like Thanos and Galactus. Giant beings, folks. Goes with the video perfectly because we talking about some giants. These are the people that's up above in the firmament. Stuck, just like you. Massive cat-looking being. Eye, nose, mouth. See the pointed ears that are different colors. He's blowing out this entity right here. See him blowing this creature into existence. This is how they create life. Through their mouth, through sound or frequency. See the creature's face, eye, horns. legs, spikes coming off his back. I'll just zoom that out so you can see the whole entire picture. The pointed ears, giant face, look like the lion, eye, nose, mouth. You see the whiskers coming off to the side, and you see his mouth blowing out, blowing this creature into existence. See his legs in the front, his wings are folded. You see his face, his horn, his eye, the front of his mouth. I'm going to show you the real Thor. Let's see if I can find that picture before I run out of time. Right here, I'll end it with this. You see the giant being holding the hammer. This is flying over our skies. You see the houses back there. I'm moving fast. I don't want to lose this. And I'm going to show you the face of the entity. It has a cat face. You see the eyes, nose, mouth, giant head with crown, and it's holding the hammer. Look how clear the face is, though, folks. That's a giant hammer. I'll show you the edges on it. I mean, that looks just like Thor's hammer. You see the jewels and gems that's on it? Look at the point. And I'll leave you with the face. Peace, love, and light. Stone Mountain is a giant sea creature from an old time, from the flood, fossilized in mud, just like everything else here. Can't have a garden without decomposing material. I'll say it and say it again. You're always living on the backs of dead giants. When you go to the beach, that's skin, folks, from dead people that were massive and giants. Understand that. Rubies, diamonds, gold, copper, crystals, all once were living organic matter. Told you, a giant recycling center. Peace, love, and light.